It's indestructible. It's indescribable. Nothing can stop it.
When we come together, what time is it?
It's time for
Shock and Mob, episode
16?
16.
Oh. 16. Yep.
In the 21st century, people awoke from the American dream. Years of consumption led to shortages of every major resource. The entire world unraveled. Peace became a distant memory. We stand on the brink of total war. And I am afraid. For myself. For my wife. For my infant son. Because if my time in the army taught me one thing, it's that war never changes.
Welcome to episode 16 of Shock and Awe, an evangelistic outreach and social media barrage intended for those interested in J.R. Bob Dobbs and the Church of the SubGenius. This is your host, Reverend Chasing Ghosts. War never changes. But do you know what else never changes? Bob. He's Bob. Bob don't ever change. In the immortal words of the esteemed Dr. Hal, all your life you have been running from adversity. But Bob is the gun, and you are the bullet, aimed straight at the same adversity you've been avoiding all your entire life. Let Bob fire you into the chaos so you can tear it a new one and fight for the slack that is truly yours. Only by tearing a hole in that which you fear the most can you achieve the greatest gift of all. Life is a struggle, and that's the paradox. We struggle for slack in the hopes that one day we won't have to anymore. We've got a great show for you. Let's dive in right now. Enjoy.
Take it anymore! I can't do this anymore!
You bring me! Get me out of here! Get me out of here! I'm fucking gun on me because I'm homeless!
It's not worth doing anymore! I can't do it anymore!
A tough titty.
I mean, what, look, you want answers? Answers? You may wish to God you'd never asked, dear friend. Oh, you'll get your answers, all right. Dobbsian Hermeticism all too fully explains man's place and purpose on this earth plane, this hierarchy of universal cruelties. Of course, probably the least answerable question in history, here answered to be, dear friends, is why are we here? Why do we have such a huge capacity for pleasure and confusion? Just so we'll keep breeding fast enough for some mindless long-range perpetual motion mutation machine? Oh, if only it were so, dear friends, if only it were that simple. What set everything going in the first place before the Big Bang? Oh, this question terrifies the water out of us if we really grasp it. We instinctively grab for some pose, some cause, crutch, drug, or religion, even another person that would let us ignore this hideous mystery, that would create alibis for our failure to find a purpose in life. Although there are some who frankly don't give a hoot, and those are the lucky ones, dear friends, because the concept of infinity is so hard to get viscerally that when we look up at the night sky, dear friends, we tend to actually think of the stars merely as randomly separated, inexplicably backlit holes punched in some huge backdrop about a mile away from us. And yet every now and then we actually get a feel for the distances and the times involved. And glimpsing that fact of eternity becomes real scary if you really get a solid grip on that insolid, abject nothingness of God's brain. God's brain, dear friends. What scares you is that you might actually be God, and you might wake up, and all those fragile physical laws might come crashing down around you. The spiderweb framework of all reality, even your friends' thoughts, might be erased like some precious but stupidly unlabeled cassette tape like this one here, never to be recaptured again. In fact, the idea is so scary that the goal of most religions, dear friends, is to preserve and elaborate on that concept of the stars as a big painted backdrop. They make infinity a prop, so you don't have to think about the scary part. And this religion, the Church of the SubGenius, is indeed about that scary part. The part you can't think about. You can grasp it only through direct knowledge, seeing, one might say, the nature of slack. Because without slack, there can be no infinity, and vice versa. Good Lord, you say, but it exists only inside our heads, after all. This veil of illusion isn't real. For God's sake. At least not until somebody slams the outside of the head with a truncheon. Then you could probably call it fairly real.
Dwell and thrive, Dr. Hal's strange days. call. Dr. Hale's haunted stride through the monkey hall. The fluffer's touch, once pure and sure, now traps his soul in throbbing allure. Philo's laugh spins tales of yore, while the guillotine's secret knocks on the door. In the grip of Dobstown's secret shore, enchanted blades and legends of yore. Monkey's toil, Dr. Hall's deceit, fropping wild with echoes under feet. Twisted toenails, collector's delight, puzzling evidence hidden from sight.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, let's go to a commercial break.
Come on down to Pete Lee's Used Cars. These cars are actively being used. I don't own them, but I don't care. I'll still sell them to you. There's a family inside this car. Take them or leave them. $50 unless you'll pay $60. Make your way on over to Pete Lee's Used Cars, conveniently located next to the sign. Pete Lee's Used Cars. I don't know. I'm just trying things.
Welcome back again. A new bombshell report has just come out showing that they are still being used as shells for bombs. We'll keep you updated as these bombshell reports are released. But first, we are getting in word that the sun is gone. For more on this, we go to Stephen Lee Curry. Stephen Lee.
Stanley, I stood here on the Pacific coast watching the sun slowly sink into the ocean like the movie about that big boat sinking.
My God, how could something so massive have sunk?
It was an iceberg, Danley.
An iceberg sunk a star.
DiCaprio, yes.
We're sending thoughts and prayers. Give them 3 to 5 business days.
Could you send cash instead?
Speaking of money, the stock market continues to exist. Let's check in with our market analyst, Badley Bunny. Badley, how are the numbers looking these days?
Still like letters.
Watch out stairs. There's a new tech in town called escalators. We here at Channel 12 have just found out about this disruptive technology that hypes you'll never have to stare at a stair again. Stairs are cooked. It is officially over for stairs. They will be 100% replaced by escalators. But it does beg the question, who controls these new artificial inclines? To find out, we sent investigative reporter Chrisley Pratt to our local mall. Chrisley, what have you learned?
Well, I think I've just gotten to the bottom of this, Stanley, and I can tell you it goes all the way to the top.
All the way up to the Illuminati, huh?
Actually, I think it's an H&M up there.
Sorry, Chrisley, we need to drop everything because a car chase is happening. Let's go to our eye in the sky, Timothy Chalamet.
We lost the light. We're going down.
To get a closer look at the chase, that's a good idea.
I knew this is how it would end. Send love to my wife.
Yeah, she's not really my type. Moving on, the NBA Finals were this past week. For his reaction, we go to our sports reporter, Morgan Lee Freeman. Morgan Lee.
Stanley, I just want to take this sports instance to address my recent incarceration due to a heinously accurate guilty verdict where they're just looking for someone to blame for the things I did. And for some reason, they're pointing the finger at me. It's a conspiracy, Danley. You gotta ask yourself, who benefits from having me locked up? My victims? How high up does this go? H&M?
Morgan Lee, were you gonna talk about the game?
I'm talking about the biggest game of all, Danley, the one where they are accusing me of my actions.
I lost a lot of money on that game. Coming up, Santa Claus is coming to town early to sue Coca-Cola for using his likeness.
But let's leave things of this world behind and walk now down the path of Bob for this brief minute of slack from the Church of the SubGenius. This is Reverend Ivan Stang with the sorry truth. Now, friend, look around you and face facts. The world is composed mostly of jerks. All kinds of ignorant, dangerous, thoughtless louts are in positions of power and influence, while some of the most deserving people you know are slugging it out in a thankless cycle of brain-breaking labor and mental paralysis. Checks and balances? What a joke. Friend, if you want to get slack, then you better uphold the Great Covenant. Yes, before you were born, you swore you'd help in the great battle against them. That's right, them. The normals, the mediocrities, the Barbies and Kens, the pink boys, the Somnambulax, the cage men, the time servers, the Philistines, the witch burners. Those who have made slack taboo. That's right, friend, there's only two races in this world, us and them. Whose side are you on, eh? Let there be slack.
I will transport us to the battlefield.
Time out. I have to go to the bathroom.
Man, you gotta go to the toilet? What's up?
I'm sorry, man. I have a shitty bladder.
Maybe I could do something for that bladder, but that would be sort of going against your dogma.
I have no idea what that means. But, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and I'll meet you in the hallway, and we'll fight to the death then in about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, no!
I want you to know this is gonna hurt you a lot more than it's gonna hurt me.
Oh, wow, that didn't even hurt.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, wow, what are you trying to do, tickle me?
Tickle you? Yeah, I'll tickle you.
Ow!
Oh, is that tickle, huh? Come on around, tickle. Come on, laugh it up, funny boy.
Hey guys, Chasing Ghosts here. I need to break into the broadcast for just a little bit. I've got a little bit of bad news. For those of you who are interested, I have just learned that Peter J. Carroll, arguably the father of chaos magic, passed away on April the 22nd, 2026, according to the Gregorian calendar. Carroll was the author of Liber Null and Psychonaut, which sit on my bookshelf, and they probably sit on many of yours as well. And I know there's been a lot of cross-pollination among SubGenius members, Discordians, Chaos Magicians, Crowleyites, and that sort of thing. In fact, I know there's a few folks who believe that Carroll was probably the most influential occultist since Aleister Crowley. So I thought I'd better take a little time just to remember him. And, wow. We'll probably shift the focus of this episode a little bit to Carroll and chaos and everything that he researched and pursued, and we'll just wing it from there. I'm sure Bob will understand. In fact, Bob's probably going to take the reins. You know how Bob is, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. So, unfortunately, I bear bad tidings. Peter J. Carroll, dead at the age of 73, passed away April 22nd, 2026. Now back to the show.
Evil flourished everywhere, and lay on the land like a festering malignancy. But in the bowels of Mount Doom,
If I was going to try and teach the kids magic, firstly, I wouldn't write that on the syllabus. I'd put down things like, concentration, meditation, testing the effects of intent and belief, and the effect of archetypes as well. I mean, we live in a world full of imaginary constructs, which have quite profound effects on real phenomena. We live in a world of archetypes and images and largely imaginary constructions, role models and things like that, which are all really like imaginary constructions, but they have quite real effects. I'd ask kids to sit down and watch a whole heap of TV adverts and say, what is that advert trying to conjure in your mind? What is it really selling you? Is it really selling you the product? Or is it selling you some nonsense that will make you buy the product? Similarly with the things politicians say.
Superman and her sister no connection with chaos has arranged. Well, ladies file one secretly crave their own destruction, but why should any other go with them? Should we not grant them what they long for? Give freely of yourself, you shall always have. These false ideals, and not the words they choose, stand overdue for destruction. Though the beast may scratch at one of the doors of the banquet hall, no one has to let him in. Let it go on its way, long before the time the revelers choose must disperse. But the signs, the omens, the sinister false number, enough! Fear not, count well and rip asunder. Divide the false from the false, ignore the beast, return to slumber. Oh, mad prophet, come down from the rooftops. Not even your gods have finished with this place. Cease your shouting, for we host a great guest today. Cease, sit quietly, hold still, and let dispersion have his say. Such naive blasphemy to think that one fanatic's voice should end immense complexities of interwoven choice. The beast appears quite tame now. He shrinks instead of grows. How much smaller he may get. O prophet, celebrants know what you do not. The earth endures, days continue long after we must rot. And so may trumpet your end, not ours, when end, not the end. Predators in Paris, the ravenous horde, the swarm, mouths cooling, jaws agape, the corpses but plentiful, the meat still warm.
Shut it up! Stop everything!
Fucking kill myself! Fuck you!
No way out. 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 No way out.
How are you doing, my fellow Yeti babies? Let me preface this by saying I've never claimed to be a magician, let alone a chaos magician, and I've never tried to represent myself as such. I'm just a humble SubGenius reverend. But take of this what you will. This is a little something that I originally shared in Vault of Slack number 9. And this is coming to terms with a little grief of my own. I'll start at the beginning. Before my awakening as a SubGenius and donning the fez for the first time, I did have some familiarity with the Church of the SubGenius, and that was through Anne, my dear friend and eventual first wife. One night some 35 years ago, Anne convinced me to drive her into downtown Dallas. In some smoky Deep Ellum club, we met a few SubGenius luminaries and started having an intense makeout session with one of them. I'm not going to name this individual, let's just say that he was fairly high up at the time. But he praised my goofy normal ass for being such a good sport. Life went on. Anne and I fell in love, got married in Las Vegas, built a life together. 10 years after we tied the knot, constant illness got the best of Anne. She died, and I was all alone and collapsing in slow motion. 3 months after her death, I found myself in the seaside town of Port Aransas, Texas, letting the Gulf breeze wash over me and enjoying some great seafood. That's when I saw a dune buggy available for rent, but not just any dune buggy. This particular model was blue with pink highlights, and it had the name Taffy. It even had huge eyelashes welded to her headlights. I could not resist. Buying a giant sombrero from a local vendor, I crossed the street to Taffy's garage and rented Taffy for an hour. So, there I was, terrorizing the streets of Port Aransas with Taffy, big-ass sombrero on my head, calypso music playing on the speakers, and I was quaffing a huge non-alcoholic beverage while blazing through downtown, telling Anne I hope she enjoyed the big fucking laugh. And that's when I noticed her, like a soft summer breeze, sitting in Taffy's passenger seat. Anne had this big smile on her face like she was riding her favorite attraction at the State Fair of Texas. And then she laid her head on my shoulder. That was it. She was gone again, just a faint echo of sunlight. It was a bittersweet reunion, but it felt like Anne was trying to tell me she was okay. Her pain was gone forever. Her trauma had been handled and disconnected, like a cyst that had been cut off. If she were in hell, the Christian hell, I don't think she would have been able to reach out to me like that, and she certainly wouldn't have been so damn happy. So did I, though still a normal, manage to harness the power of Slack to reach across the great gulfs of space to contact Anne on the Exodus fleet of pleasure vessels. Let me remind you of what my necromantic altar consisted of. Me, a sombrero, an oversized cup of cola, and a dune buggy with girly girl eyelashes. Hell, I wasn't even trying to contact Anne. She contacted me. Some ritual altar, huh? But I got results. And maybe that's how Connie found me. Maybe that's how she whiff-read the emanations of Slack from my being and had a complete dossier on Anne. I never found a membership card for Anne, but I suspect she was either paid in or somehow blessed in by a SubGenius luminary. That would help explain why Connie made me an offer I couldn't refuse. When I finally took the plunge and sent in my membership fee to Bob, Connie rewarded me in spades. And I'm sure Anne had herself another big fucking laugh. Is there a point to all of this? To me, I guess the point is, sometimes the only way out is to go all the way in. Quit trying to find an exit ramp. Let Slack illuminate your path. Give yourself permission to be lucky. As I said once before, we SubGeniuses are lucky because Bob is lucky. The luck plane is flowing like a mighty river, and the waters seem inviting. Jump in. And if you haven't sent in your membership fee, do it now. And the rest is Slack.
Hi, Norm. Hi, Albie. How you doing? Oh, this sounds bad. I think we do have a fight in that situation. Hey, Norm. How's it going out there?
Well, you know, so sometimes, one incident,
Emily?
right.
Emily?
Right.
Dad?
Or they might.
Emily?
Right.
This is Mom.
Right. Right.
Comrades, sisters, resistance fighters, we greet you and call you to arms in the struggle to free all people.
Oh, God.
they dragged me into this feeder base to do a little work for the net web.
Big. I'll bet it's as big as anything that ever lived in California. Better get something over there. It's starting to blaze already. Looks like the fishing was good. That's something. Well, I might just do that. About that meeting. They say it's a wow. District officer told us at the lookout up in the summer. I thought you might be interested. About 10 or 12 miles from here, over by Linda Road.
Are they sure it's a meteor? It didn't come down like that.
That's right. Came down kind of smart. Well, you can't. You're science. All I know is it says as big as a house and practically red hot.
I'd like to borrow your car and take a look at it in the morning. So we ought to get back. I could fly Bilderbeck down in your plane.
Insurance is paid up.
Right? So I'll come over later.
It must have hit way up there and then hit us over the stomach. After it stopped, all that loose earth and stuff shook down over it. I guess most of it's there. Meteors always run heavy. You won't be able to haul up the way to no museum. It'll be a real good attraction. That's right. Better than enchiladas and hot dogs too. Yeah, ice cream, cold drinks, souvenirs. I think we should put up a few picnic tables. No. Couldn't it bring their own lunches? What's the idea, Buck? You gonna take for gold? You think you're certain? You're gonna be right.
Somebody. Can't hide from God because he's bigger than the whole planet. Can't hide from God. He's bigger than all the universe. Can't hide from God because he's bigger than all infinity. He's bigger than all reality. Help me, somebody. You can't hide from God. Can't hide from God in a reefer. Can't hide from God in a glass of alcohol. You can't hide from God in a pussy. Because he's bigger than you. You can't hide from J.R. Bob Dobbs because he's stupider than you are. Can't hide from J.R. Bob Dobbs because he's got more black and white little dots in his face than you do. Can't hide from J.R. Bob Dobbs because his face has been mimeographed and put up in more places than yours has. You can't hide from God. You can't hide from J.R. Bob Dobbs because more people worship him than worship you. You can't hide from Dobbs because he's stupider than you are. Help me, somebody. You can't run from your own legs. How you gonna run from your own legs? Because if you run from your own legs, what are you gonna run from them with? If you use them to run from them with, what are you gonna run away from? You can't run from your own legs. You can't hide from J.R. Bob Dobbs because he's stupider than you. You can't hide from God because he's bigger than you. He's bigger than all reality. He's bigger than all infinity. Help me, somebody. She ain't got no legs. Pull the lever and down you go. My legs are on fire. Need some help. Praise Dobbs. You can't swallow your own throat. How you gonna swallow your own throat? Because if you use your own throat to swallow it with, what are you gonna swallow? If you swallow your own throat, what are you gonna use to swallow it with? You can't swallow your own throat. You can't run from your own legs. You can't hide from J.R. Bob Dobbs because he's stupider than you are. You can't hide from God because he's bigger than you. He's bigger than all infinity. Help me, somebody. She ain't got no legs. Pull the lever and down you go. Preacher, my legs are on fire. Need some help. Praise Dobbs. You can't digest your own stomach. How you gonna digest your own stomach? Not a man or a woman in this auditorium tonight who can digest their own stomach. You can't digest your own stomach. You can't swallow your own throat. You can't run from your own legs. You can't hide from J.R. Bob Dobbs because he's stupider than you. You can't hide from God because he's bigger than you. He's bigger than all reality. Help me, somebody. Pull the lever and down you go. Preacher, my legs are on fire. Need some help. Praise Dobbs. You can't wet water. Water's already as wet as it can possibly get. You can pour water on water, but you're just gonna have more water. You can't wet water. You can't digest your own stomach. You can't swallow your own throat. You can't run from your own legs. You can't hide from J.R. Bob Dobbs because he's stupider than you. You can't hide from God because he's bigger than you. He's bigger than all reality. Help me, somebody. Pull the lever and down you go. My legs are on fire. Need some help. Praise Dobbs. You can't wash soap. How you gonna wash soap? You gonna try to cut it in half and rub the two ends together? You can't wash soap. You gonna try to throw it in the washing machine? You gonna try to slide it through a car wash? You can't wash soap. You can't wet water. You can't digest your own stomach. You can't swallow your own throat. You cannot hide from J.R. Bob Dobbs because he's stupider than you. You can't hide from God because he's bigger than you. He's bigger than all reality. Help me, somebody. Pull the lever and down you go. Preacher, my legs are on fire. Need some help. Praise Dobbs. You can't burn fire. It's already on fire. How you gonna burn fire? You can't burn fire. You can't wash soap. You can't wet water. You can't digest your own stomach. You can't swallow your own throat. You can't run from your own legs. You cannot hide from J.R. Bob Dobbs because he's stupider than you. You can't hide from God because he's bigger than you. He's bigger than all reality. Help me, somebody. She ain't got no legs. Pull the lever and down you go. Preacher, my legs are on fire. Need some help. Praise Dobbs. You can't pee your own dick. How you gonna pee your own dick? It's too big to fit out of that little bitty hole. You can't pee your own dick. You can't burn fire. You can't wash soap. You cannot wet water. You cannot digest your own stomach. You can't swallow your own throat. You cannot run from your own legs. You cannot hide from this man, J.R. Bob Dobbs, because he's stupider than you. You can't hide from God because he's bigger than you. He's bigger than all reality. Help me, somebody. She ain't got no legs. Pull the lever and down you go. Preacher, my legs are on fire. Need some help. Praise Dobbs. Keep those dollars rolling. You can't hide from God. Help me, somebody. Help me, somebody. Can I get a witness? You can't hide from God. Need some help. Need some help. Preacher, my legs on fire. Preacher, my legs are on fire. You can't hide from God. You can't hide from your own hiding place. Your own hiding place is where you're hiding from. Your own hiding place is gonna see you, so how you gonna hide from your own hiding place? You can't hide from your own hiding place. You can't burn fire. You can't pee your own dick. You can't wash soap. You can't wet water. You cannot digest your own stomach. You can't swallow your own throat. You cannot run from your own legs. You can't hide from J.R. Bob Dobbs because he's stupider than you are. You can't hide from God because he's bigger than you. He's bigger than all infinity. Help me, somebody. She ain't got no legs. Pull the lever, down you go. Preacher, my legs are on fire. Need some help, need some help. Praise God. Preacher, my legs are on fire. Preacher, my legs are on fire. Can I get a witness? Help me, somebody. Help me, somebody. My legs are on fire. Preacher!
The views expressed on this program are strictly those of the producer and do not necessarily reflect the views of the SubGenius Foundation, Slack Radio, or the online media assets during this program.
The image of J.R. Bob Dobbs and the term SubGenius are trademarks of the SubGenius Foundation Incorporated and are used with the kind permission of the SubGenius Foundation.
Listen up, Sugar Cube. If you want to send a message to Bob, you can address it to Bob, that's B-O-B, at P.O. Box 807, Glen Rose, Texas 76043. You can also visit the Church of the SubGenius website at subgenius.com. Send in your fucking membership fee, and you will be a weapon. You will be a minister of Bob, praying for Slack. There's also Dr. Philo Drummond's outstanding website at quiveringbrain.com. Dr. Hell and his show archives can be accessed at askdrhellshow.com. Hell, we've got newsletters as well. Contact Sacred Scribe Dr. Onan Canabite to receive the Dopstown Mirror by visiting dopstown.org. You can also obtain the Vault of Slack newsletter from Reverend Zanofact at vaultofslack.com. And if you're looking for ecclesiastical domination via the fucking airwaves, get your SubGenius radio at slackradio.org.
I'm not sure that we know what we mean when we say consciousness. I do wonder, really, if consciousness consists of anything other than the extremely complicated behavior of matter and energy arranged in very complex forms. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we couldn't duplicate any function of human consciousness in a machine if we could precisely specify what it was. I don't tend to subscribe to the otherness theory of consciousness. I think the entire universe is of one substance, which includes us, and we're just a very complicated bit of it, which has evolved senses and motor abilities and evolved a self-image which gives us an illusion of consciousness. I mean, obviously, if you do anything in life, whether it's magic or baseball, it requires that you be conscious to do it. But I don't necessarily think that there's anything particularly essential about the existence of consciousness for magic to occur. I think it is a phenomena, is a natural phenomena, and it exists between what we would call unconscious objects. We've got quantum entanglement between particles. We've got mysterious fields and connections going on. I think when we try and do magic, we're just exploiting natural phenomena. And I think the universe probably exploits these natural phenomena just to do the ordinary things it does. I mean, what enforces the laws of the universe? Why do all photons fly at light speed everywhere in the universe? There are certainly some very curious aspects to the purely physical universe, which I think may be able to account for magic. Although I don't precisely know how, but I'm quite intrigued by a lot of the stuff coming out of quantum theory and various quantum experiments. Things like retrocausality, for example. It seems that can occur just on a mechanical basis. You can set up quantum machines that appear to function by a degree of retrocausality, and that possibly allows humans to perform retroactive enchantment. I don't see anything. I don't make a division in my ontology, my feelings about the universe between natural and supernatural. I think the natural is quite supernatural in itself if you look at it deeply enough.
No, his mind is not for rent to any god or government. Always hopeful, yet discontent. He knows changes aren't permanent, but changes. Peter J. Carroll, rest in power. The music you have heard on this episode of Shock and Bob starts off with Dobbstown Enigma, performed by Spartambulax and the Jones Boys. This track is made available courtesy of the Dr. Philo Drummond, Overman First Degree. It will soon be available on an upcoming release on Dr. Philo Drummond's Bandcamp page, so keep your eyes peeled. The next song you heard was Mount Doom, performed by the Christpunchers. And this song was made available courtesy of the Reverend Ivan Stang, our beloved sacred scribe. The next bits of ritual ambient music that you heard were provided by Choronzon. They are excerpts from Current and 06X3. And we are grateful to Choronzon for providing them to this program. Finally, rounding everything out, we heard Doktors for Bob performing the infamous and celebrated Can't Hide from God. This has been a different sort of episode. I hope you got something edificational or beneficial out of this. And we'll be back soon with another episode. Bob willing and the creek don't rise. The password for this episode is 5th Eon. If you know, you know. Thank you so much for listening. Now go get you some slack.
Oh, do it great. Okay, great. Do it great. Ah!